Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin.
So it's 2:00 in the morning in your brain, possibly. Is that correct, Laurie? Is that right?
Right. Technically it's 11, but yeah, right.
Yeah,
I'm on
because
East-
I'm on Midwest time, so it's 1:00 for me, and I have travel scratch, rah 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 rah, and vocal fry, just crazy vocal fry.
Sure.
I'm coming back from Dallas. You're coming back from New York City. You did like 5 sets each night, right, or something?
Yeah. Let's see, on Friday, I had 6 sets on Friday.
What?
Here's the thing, 5 were at the stand, so I didn't have any cab fare. I just was going upstairs and downstairs. Oh, Charmy, stop. And then the last one was at Greenwich Village Comedy Club, which is one of Al Martin's, one of his thousands of little comedy rooms.
Okay.
And then I met up with Joyelle and Paula B at the Cellar, and we sat around.
What? For real?
Yeah, I mean, I have like cellar issues because I used to work there now. But yeah, so I successfully sat at the table and was charged full price for a meal. Like I was never a comic, that I never hosted shows there till 2, 3 in the morning. But that's fine. Clearly I've got no, and I'm not angry or insulted. And then on the next night, Saturday, I just had 5. I didn't have a bonus set, and so I did those. It was good. I really shortened up a lot of bit. Like when I do a lot, like you get new minutes, I lose minutes. when I do a ton of spots, I lose about 2 or 3 minutes because I tighten it up,
Yeah.
And
yeah, I do too, obviously, but that's because I start every joke of mine is 6 minutes long, and so luckily the finished product is like 250.
Yeah, but like
so.
me writing is actually losing time half the time. Sucks. And then I went back to the Cellar for a little bit, but oh my God, my feet hurt so much that.
Were you wearing fancy shoes?
No, I wasn't wearing fancy ones, but they're still, I got these bunions, and it's just it's a theater, and there's nothing I can do to make. Oh my God, Charmy, to make it better.
She missed you.
Besides surgery, which I'm not going to get, so I just have to. I'm always searching for a good shoe, and then I get a lead on a shoe and I try it, and then it's an okay shoe, but it's too late to return it. So whatever. I'm just
you're powering through the shoes you have. Is that what I hear?
Yeah. I should bring like, oh my God, speaking of shoes, she just brought one to me. Gosh darn it, Charmy. Let go. Go away, just calm down. So
you should get yourself a Chihuahua.
Oh my God,
look at that guy sacked out. Adorable.
Love it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Is that Gordo?
That's Gordy.
Okay,
there he is.
So yeah, my feet were hurting, and then but otherwise it was cool little short weekend.
Yeah, just packed with sets, and all of those sets are 15s, right?
Yeah.
So you get to really work on, you don't switch it up too much, right? You try to work on the same.
Because, like it's
you get lost.
You do get lost, and you're in, doing the third spot in the same room in the same night, and you're like, what? Which crowd are you? Who are you?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing a bunch of spots in January when I come. So
oh yeah,
yeah, I'm gonna be there from the 5th to the 15th of January.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I stay 10 days. And I might even remind myself how the subway system works. Every time I go to New York, the first 3 days I spend too much money on cabs. And then I realize how much money I'm spending on cabs. I'm like, why don't you reintroduce yourself to the subway system? And then I do. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, they they take your Apple Pay. You just hold the phone over the reader when you go into the subway. So that has saved me so much money because I constantly lose my Metro card. And the more money I put on a Metro card, the quicker I lose it. And so now I'm like, no more Metro cards. I just hold the phone over.
Is it
Love
just,
it.
is it just an app?
Yeah.
You just use the app
Oops,
and then
shit.
all right.
No, you don't need an app. It's just part of your iPhone or whatever. Maybe I don't know what you have, but it'll work.
Yeah,
They
it'll work.
figured it-
But
yeah.
it's a better idea than going and putting my credit card into a Metro card. Okay.
Yeah, and then
So
like there's got to be a million trillion Metro cards in the sea. Just what's the point, you know? I mean,
yeah, garbage.
technology is ruined so much. At least let's make this a little bit better.
Yeah.
So that's my recommendation.
I am hard agree on that. So my sister came to town. She had a thing in Palm Springs, and then so she drove in on Thursday, and we all went out to dinner at a place that I've passed. You know how Los Angeles, there's restaurants. You'll go to a strip mall. You might do one thing in it, or you'll drive past 1900, and she found a Peruvian restaurant 4 blocks from our house. That was amazing. And I was like, you mean by the Sizzler? And and she goes, it might even be the Sizzler. Did the Sizzler
why would another restaurant dare to open up near a Sizzler? That's what I have to ask.
And a steak restaurant, no less, a Peruvian place that had really good meat, mostly because they were next to a Sizzler. And now they could no doubt get actual people to come. And then on Friday, we went and had breakfast over at the Mag Grill, and then she drove into the airport, Burbank, to fly to Dallas. Southwest delayed. Luckily, I was flying in a day early.
Yeah.
And today it was delayed coming back. Today's plane, by the way, oh my God, it was trashed. I had in the end, I had a lovely experience, but let me tell you something. So I'm in the A group. I like an exit row. I feel very strong.
How'd you get in the A group? I'm C. I'm always low C's or high C's.
You have to be aware of when your flight is going, because you have to check in immediately.
No,
and today
when they email me, I check in and they still give me C60 like half the time.
Oh, weird. I was A60 coming back. So there were still exit row when I got on the plane, but the exit row was one of them was blocked off. They said, oh, the oxygen masks aren't working. So I sat in another row. Get this row. This row, one of the armrests, the one right on the aisle, had been broken off.
Oh my God.
Right. My seatbelt didn't work, but I didn't want to, there weren't any extra seats. So I just put it in my lap and just rode the wind, whatever, just got in an airplane. And but get this, the other good thing that happened today, because it was delayed like an hour and a half, and I was very irritable. I've been irritable all day. But so I get in line to get a Starbucks, and the line is so long. A woman behind me goes, I did a mobile order. And and then a flight attendant from Southwest walks by to get in line, and I said, do you know anything about my flight? And she said, I don't know. What is your flight? And so we discussed while we stood in line. She was not on my flight. She was not working my flight, but she looked it up on her, worker app. And we could see that they were lining people up. And so I ordered my on mobile, and she said, I'll bring it to you. Just go get in line. And God. Right. So the flight attendant from a different flight of Southwest brought me my coffee while I was in line.
Oh, that's nice.
It was really nice. But yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's like that all over the country. There's one Starbucks or there's one coffee place, and the line will be 20, 30, 40 people deep. They need to have little kiosks all over the place. They don't have enough coffee places. Why don't airlines understand that?
I don't know, but I had been there long enough to have a Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee, and then get a second iced coffee from Starbucks. So
good Lord,
because I flew into Love Field and out of Love Field, so the weird thing about, so I get there, they take me to this was a this is a comic run festival, this
Oh,
Dallas.
cool.
Yeah. And so one of the younger comics, a guy named Greg, picks me up and takes me to my hotel. And I did a live Dork Forest yesterday that was a bit of a it was a bit of a it'll be fun, but we ended up meandering all over the place because none of us there wasn't enough communication to get the dorkdoms in a row. So at one point, you remember Linda Stogner, former Comic of the Week?
Mhm.
Yes. And actually, Brittany Goss was the other comic. And she's
cool.
the one who owns she runs her and two guys are the comics who run what was the name of it? I was in
The
Dallas.
Plano.
The Plano Comedy Festival. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Plano Comedy Festival. So
I know the name of it because I wasn't invited.
You did it on Zoom last year.
Oh.
So sad, too bad. Anyway, so because they were psyched about it. As a matter of fact, they were talking about how you murdered on Zoom and how weird it was.
I don't remember.
Well, why would you? It's hard to remember how often you're carried off stage on Zoom. Just people just carrying their laptops around their room. Anyway, but at the end of it, Linda Stogner felt so bad that she didn't have enough British murder mysteries that she could remember, and she loved like some weird ones that I had never heard of. She told the craziest story about doing a corporate that was supposed to be it was a pajama party. So she was like, I don't want to wear pajamas and do stand up. And they're like, but everyone's going to be wearing pajamas and doing stand up. Or not doing stand up, but everyone's going to be wearing pajamas and you should wear pajamas. And she was like,
yeah,
fine, I will wear pajamas. She gets there to some hotel conference center and she goes in and nobody else is in pajamas. And she goes up and there's barely an audio setup. And she strong arms her way into this thing and she's like, this is going to be the worst. And she's like, when are we starting? And the guy's like, now, I guess. And so she goes up, she does her time. And then she goes up to the guy and she says, usually I don't complain, but I was told that everyone was going to be in pajamas. And he said, are you looking for the pajama party? It's like 2 conference things over, 2 rooms over. She had strong armed her way into a different corporate. She had forced her comedy. She did a set, like a 35, 40-minute set.
So the pajama people were still waiting for her?
She just went home. She blew it off, never got paid.
Oh, man.
What a weird. I was like, what? And quite honestly, when I finally do put that one up, you all got to listen to that story because that story is epic.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so sleepy. I was just writing down things to say. And I can't remember.
I wondered why you weren't as fascinated by that story because that story blew my mind, quite honestly.
That is insane. I will tell you that I have my little portable air purifier.
Yeah, that you carry around. You have 2, right? Yeah. One packed in luggage, one in carry-on, right?
Right. Well, I didn't bring the big one to New York, but
okay.
So I bring my little guy, my little Westinghouse, which I have flown with for a couple of months now, no problem. And the JetBlue flight attendant's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "It's an air purifier." And she goes, "No, you can't have that on." And she showed me the email from corporate, but there's no reason for it. So I'm gonna make a stink. I didn't make a stink on the plane because there's an air marshal on the plane, and it's not her fault. She's just enforcing a rule. But I was like, this is dumb. It's making the air cleaner. It's a win-win. You can't lose this.
Yeah, I was one of probably 4 people on an incredibly packed Southwest flight that was wearing a mask.
Oh, you're coming out of Texas, though.
Texas. Yeah.
Bad. the New York flight was not too bad. And when I landed in Burbank, about half the people just hanging out were masked. I was pretty good. It wasn't.
That is great.
Yeah.
I have to say, so I don't have, I have one comment about abortion, and they tightened up on me, and I just lost my shit at them. I was like, oh, I forgot I was here. Fuck you, assholes. Which is not where you want to go with a bunch of audience members that you then want to laugh at your dog jokes.
There was a lady, there's tourists that come to New York. There's a lady that during my abortion check, she's like, that's horrible. And I'm like, no, it's not. I argued with her. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's weird. Like I didn't watch everyone go up in front of me, but obviously when I'm waiting and I'm next, and and a guy comic was talking about abortion, and I was like, oh, maybe I won't do mine because it's 2 abortions in a row, two. And I'm like, no, they need to hear it from a woman. You know what I mean? Like he's got his POV, which is fine, but you need to hear that from a woman.
I don't want to hear his POV. I don't even want to hear his point of view. I don't even want to hear it.
You don't want female comics talking about abortion.
Not even if they're on my side. Nope.
Yeah.
Talk to it about it with your girlfriend, and make her listen to your opinion.
Why don't you call your senator and talk about it?
Yeah, if you have the right of. I will say there were 8 comics who went before me last night.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot.
It's a lot. And it started 45 minutes late.
That's extra. That's even
so
more.
Because it was at the House of Plano's House of Comedy. It's one of those Rich Bronson, whatever.
Right.
The Canadian guy. And so it's not as ow, I just bit my tongue. It's not as shiny as the other House of Comedies that I've been to. The staff seemed really nice and completely swamped. Because the Plano Comedy Festival had a show at 5, at 7, at 9, and at 11.
Oh my God.
And Mike Winfield was there. I didn't get to see him, but he was the other headliner. And then there were local headliners, but people, every show had like 8 people on it. And so the 5 o'clock went a little over. The 7 o'clock went a little more over. The 9 o'clock started even later and then went a little over because I didn't get up until 11. The 11 o'clock didn't start until midnight.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I was back in my room by midnight.
Yeah, that's tough. Mike Winfield was on America's Got Talent this season, right?
I don't know. I haven't been.
Was.
I like him, but the last time I saw him, I think was Green Room UCB. I keep forgetting to do that joke about being not recognizing people, by the way. I'm very disappointed in myself.
Well, I dropped my chunk that invalidates your chunk, so go for it. So I just gave up. Like the number one punchline was a referencing Brad Pitt, who says he has that thing. And then Brad Pitt, such a fucking mess of a person and choked his kid on a plane. It's like, I don't even want to talk about him.
Did he choke his kid on a plane?
Yeah. That's what this is all coming out because he's suing Angelina Jolie for selling her half of their winery. So all this stuff is coming out, and while the plane was in the air, which is terrifying, he was like on a drunken rampage in the plane. And I'm imagining if it's a corporate jet, it's a smaller plane, so just a drunk guy in a small plane is terrifying. And then he's choking kids. I mean, it's crazy. So anyway.
Being that drunk in front of your kids is step 1. Try not to do that. And by the way, the guy sitting next to me on the ride home in Southwest, I don't know how he got that drunk. I don't know how he got that drunk that fast. It's a 3-hour flight, but he was like, can I get this drink and this drink and so she unpacked a bunch of different, like a glass and a can and a bottle, and then a half an hour later she comes back to pick everything up and he goes, could I get another one of those? And she was like, Yes. Yes, you can. And I think he had had something to drink before he got on because he was just a little sloppy. Like he was at one point they brought us like the snack pretzel things and he
Yeah.
threw them at me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he threw my bag at me. And I was like,
Jesus.
thank you. And I had garbage to give to the woman. So he grabs it from me and grabs her elbow. And as soon as he grabs the flight attendant's arm and she turns
No.
and just glares at him, he drops it and goes, sorry. And she's like, that's right. Don't touch me.
Wow.
And
I had a little bottle of wine on the plane. I treated myself.
live it up.
Yeah. Uh, I took public transportation to the airport.
Oh, did you?
I took a lift to the apartment because it was like 6 a.m. and I was exhausted. And then
Yeah.
I took the this is very specific, but I took the A
Yeah.
to Penn Station. Usually I just take the A all the way out and it's like 2 hours and half the time, it's like, oh, it stops at the wrong one. So I have to get off and get on a different A. So, but this one's a little complicated. It's got some transfers, but I went to Penn Station. Then you go on the Long Island Railroad to Jamaica, and then you
Wow.
take the air train. But
Yeah.
once you get on the train, there's no more stairs after that. It's all escalators. So if you've got a lot of stuff, you just have to get to the subway somehow, which
Yeah.
will be steps. But after that, and it's cheaper, than a taxi or an Uber. And
Yeah, it ends up costing
Yeah.
you like $3 or $4, right? It's like
no.
because the Long Island Railroad costs its own thing, right?
Long Island Railroad was about 8, and then air
Okay.
train 8, and then
Okay.
the subway 375. But still, it's
Sure.
cheaper than like 70, right?
Yeah. $20, sure.
Long Island Railroad is nice. I like it. Very comfortable.
Excellent. Good to hear it. Uh,
This
so
is a tip for a few listeners only.
right. All I know is that whenever I've tried to take the thing to the Jamaica,
Yeah.
I always get off of the wrong thing, and then I find a dude, and the dude goes, "Yeah, you got off of the wrong thing," because there's
Okay.
nothing. Who doesn't love to make fun of the tourist, the New Yorkers? Sometimes the New
Yes.
Yorkers
But guess
love
what?
it. What?
The MTA has an app that's called I think it's called MTA, but it's really good. And it will, it's just called MTA. It's like this, okay?
Yep.
Whatever. And it you put in your routing and it will like send you notifications, hey, because it tracks you when you're on your phone, obviously, like Google Maps.
Right.
You're getting off the next station and all this stuff. So you
heads
won't miss
up.
that.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
great.
Oh yeah, I'll do that because
Yeah.
usually I use Google Maps itself because
Yeah.
Google Maps will give you taxi, bike, foot.
No, this is
public
very
transit.
train specific.
But,
Yeah.
but train specific will also have all the information about delays and stuff and closing. So what one would imagine. I went to lunch today with the comics and we did the thing that I'm looking forward to because I keep going back to Texas. I have to go back to Texas on Wednesday.
Wow.
So
Why did you just stay?
because I didn't want to.
Oh.
And I was in Dallas and I'm going to Austin. So I've come home for 2 days. I will regroup. I actually sold merch at this festival this weekend.
A lot.
Yeah. $300.
Okay. That's for one show. That's not bad at all.
No, I sold Dork Forest t-shirts at the Dork Forest thing. And I sold Dork Forest and Squish t-shirts, which I just got a new batch of which I have a back order on my bulletin board. At the stand-up show, and I didn't even do the squish joke because get this, I only had to do 25 minutes.
What? Oh my God! So
well, it was 8 comics.
I had to follow 8 comics and then do an hour.
That's what 25. I was.
Sweet.
It was pretty. It was much better, even though I would have liked to have done more because I forgot to do a couple of my jokes, the new ones I'm working on. But Maria had to follow 4 comics in Houston. She was doing Houston and at
Mhm,
some rock venue, and she had to
mhm.
do she had to follow 4 comics and do an hour. And,
That's a
and
lot.
everybody was doing 10s or 15s or something like that. And so it was kind of long.
I would
And
say 3 max if people are doing
yeah,
10. 3
yeah,
max.
yeah, 30
Because
minutes max. Yeah.
even though an MC in a feature, that's 45 minutes, you're still having to get into 4 different people's personalities before you get to your headliner. It's exhausting for the audience. They're like,
Yeah.
okay, who's this person? Okay, I'll get into them. And so, you go up there and they're exhausted from getting to know a comedian, you
Yeah,
know?
just too much changeover.
Yes.
They did tell me that last 2 weeks ago, I think it was, Beth Stelling was in Dallas. One of the comics I
Mhm,
went to lunch with,
mhm.
said they went and saw Beth Stelling. She did a rock venue in Dallas called it was called Factory. It was called the Bomb Factory,
Oh,
and
yeah?
it only seats like 60 or 75.
Oh, that sounds nice.
It sounds kind of nice, right?
Yeah.
And I think
She
she did
must have
1 or 2
tacked it on to
shows.
other stuff though, because right?
Maybe. I wonder how much they were charging. Maybe they were charging $25 to get in,
Hmm,
and it was enough to make a small living, which is always nice.
sure. But you had a layover, right? You didn't fly direct from Dallas to.
Direct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I flew to Love Field, 3 hours, 2:56,
Okay.
and Southwest is the only one that does that. I saw some other people. There was somebody who had a bad experience with American today, shocking no one. And I also got I got a text. I talked to NATO Green just via text because somebody asked me if I wanted to get a packet to wear on Delta when I fly Delta that supports
Yeah.
the flight attendant union effort
Oh,
because
that'll be good stuff.
they're they're gonna um they're gonna do, yeah, so they're trying to unionize, and I would like to support that,
Yeah, sure.
even though I know that the flights will go up because they want, perks.
Well, no, I mean
Not
they
even
don't have
perks.
to go up.
They want a livable,
They don't have
experience.
to go up. They'll use that as an excuse to raise prices, so you'll get mad at the union flight attendants.
Right,
Okay,
they're
they're
hoping,
making
but
a lot of money.
I won't. As a commie red hippie skippy crystal clutcher, I will be on the side of the union,
Mhm.
and that's where
Now,
I'm
you in fact do not have a crystal, and I would like to challenge your.
at. You are wrong. I have got
What?
many crystals. Yeah, Sally Ann Farrar gave me a quartz
Oh,
crystal when I
Gifts
moved
don't
here.
count.
Oh no,
Gifts don't
and
count.
Andy's dad lived passed away. His wife, his widow, still lives on in Arkansas, outside of Hot Springs, in the middle of the most beautiful national forest I've ever seen in my life, in a little town called Mount Ida, right next to a quartz crystal uh ting 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 mine.
My,
And
yeah,
the the I'm tired.
I'm
So
tired too. It's like
but
it's
I
this. We
bought
started
crystals.
at 11 o'clock on Sunday, guys. That's how
Yep,
tired we are.
that
Both of
is
our
sleepy
flights
tired.
are late. Okay,
Yeah,
but
they
what?
were delayed. But I
But
so
you
I
have
own many.
crystals.
But Sally Ann Farrar she didn't give me a crystal when I moved to LA 20 odd years ago. She gave me a rock, and she told me, because she loves rocks, and she told me that this rock was a rock for success.
Oh
And
my god, Jackie.
and I was like, why have I never had Sally Ann Farrar on the Dork Forest talking to me about rocks? But
What?
I was then given by Karen Rontowski
Right.
other things, and then I read a romance novel that explained about rose quartz and amethyst, and so ever since I've enjoyed those two. And then I bought some D&D dice made out of uh, crystals. One in rose quartz, you can't, and one in amethyst. You can't roll them; they chip, and then you don't get an accurate roll. How you gonna count on that D20? You can't count on it.
Well,
Anyway, what?
at
Yeah.
those are pretty things. A rock, someone's just giving you garbage at this point, and you're keeping it in your house for 20 years. Why don't I give you my milk carton I just emptied for success?
A milk carton for success. Does it
Yeah.
have a picture of a child on the back of it? Hey, it's 1992, you guys. Let's talk
No.
about let's take a break. Yeah, so let's do Brittany Goss, who I got to see. She went up, and then Linda Stogner, and there were a lot of great comics that
Yeah.
made me laugh at this Plano Comedy Festival. But Brittany Goss, she also is one of the organizers, a great comic, and her name is spelled like Britain, and it's Britainy. And so of course her handle is something like Great Brittany. It's Great Brittany. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's Great Brittany. Yeah. So great, Great, Britainy, Great Brittany. And it's Brittany Goss, and she's very funny. And I enjoyed her set last night a great deal.
Is she obligated to block me because the royal family blocked me?
Yes. Yes, she is. She's obligated because she is, of course, a duchess. She did the live Dork Forest with Linda Stogner as well. So that'll be a fun episode of us meandering around trying to figure out those. It's weird with a Dork Forest when it's a panel, because it's a lot more work to try to get to talk about everybody's dorkdom. I kind of have to pick a common topic, and that one was the fact that her mom and her watch a lot of those British cop movies that Linda Stogner likes. So there's some of that. She's really funny though. Okay.
Have you listened to Archetypes by the Duchess of Sussex? It's her podcast on Spotify.
No.
It's really good. She's had Margaret Cho on. Who the fuck else? She had a couple other. She had Aparna on. She's had a couple female stand-ups on talking about, whatever they're talking.
What's it called?
It's called Archetypes. ARCHETYPES. And it's on Spotify. And I thought you had to subscribe to Spotify to listen to it, but you don't. You don't. You have to pay for it.
Oh, right. Because it's just pod. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I'm very anti-Spotify. So I'm like, I'm not paying $10 for Spotify because they're part of why we're not making any money, because they fucking stream and pay us a tenth of a penny. So
they put the Staycation will never go back up. So 4 of my 5 albums are back up. Pandora, did you see that I posted?
What?
I tried to go to Pandora and do an ad, because you could do ads for free on Pandora. Comics that still have albums, create a station for yourself on Pandora, and and you get to you have an artist profile and you can make free ads. So I have created a station now of none of my work, because all 5 of my albums are gone. And your albums. And so, because you were on my my station, or at least the ones that, because here's the thing, if you go to my Instagram, I just recorded the Pandora app looking for my albums, and all it is buffering, no longer on Pandora. It was bad. It was infuriating. And
incredibly infuriating, because 4 of those albums had nothing to do with 800 Pound Gorilla.
And they were just part of the Spoken Giant lawsuit. So they put all of my stuff on Spoken Giant. So they're not playing. Here's the good news. That album that Comedy Dynamics bought from a benefit that I did, they're not playing that either. So there you go. I'm happy enough with that, because what's her name sold it to Comedy Dynamics. It was to benefit a battered shelter. And and she
did you
sold
sign
the rights
away and not realize it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it was an early version of that cat joke, the LA pet joke.
It sucks. I mean, you hardly get any money from Pandora and Spotify, but I guess it gets people to come out to shows. Entirely. Right? Mm-hmm. It really sucks. I'm appalled for you.
But where it is still is on Amazon and Apple iTunes, and those two places because they sell the albums. They still have them available streaming, and
Mhm.
so they do. They're still on Amazon and Apple iTunes. So I will say this: I got a call from a guy I know who's in a band called Beatallica, which is a Beatles Metallica mashup band. And I used to babysit for his little sister when we were kids. He's from
Mhm.
Cudahy.
Mhm.
Beatallica, the Beatles Metallica mashup band, is very big in
Mhm.
Germany
Mhm.
and all over Europe. But they are touring America. In June of next year, they're on an 18 city tour. And he
Mhm.
wanted to know if I wanted to open for them.
Wow.
East Coast, like Albany, Cleveland.
Neat.
And I said, I want to because it sounds hilarious. But what you need to know is I can't get in a van with 4 band members and drive from town to town. I need my own hotel room. I need airfare. And it doesn't even have to be a lot of money just because I want to do it. Right.
Yeah.
And then I told him, and you got to know that I don't party late into the night. If someone wants to have brunch, I can totally do it. But I'm not, and opening for it will be opening for Beatallica and something called I think Tragic something, some other heavy metal band. And I would do
Jackie, that's awesome.
15, one band to get up, do their 45 or whatever set, and then or hour, and then I would get up, do another 15 while they switched, and then I bring the second band up, and then I assume I can go home.
Yeah.
But
That's your to rest up and prepare for brunch the next day.
but I'm taking the call tomorrow to see if anybody cares. Like if it's really doable. And because I don't know if it is, but it might bring me close to Albany, New York, where my buddy Joe Wilson lives.
Wait,
And
I thought you were gonna say where my friend Laurie Kilmartin's ancestors are.
Where that garage is. I have taken a picture of that damn garage for you. There's nothing left.
Lied.
No, that's the first time I lied. There was Photoshop. The second time I actually went.
Well, that's different from the cemetery.
Oh, I gotta find some cemetery.
Yeah, and the church they helped build.
Oh, fine. I'll go visit the Jesus for you. And so
I'm so tired, Jackie.
I know it's tiring. But what about this? I'm going to Austin, Texas. I'm going to do Altercation. Anybody live in Texas? I'm all over Texas. I'm doing Altercation this week, and then next week I have to go to Michigan. Oh, wait, do I? What? Or do I have a week off? I might have a week off because I'm doing Dr. Grins.
Oh, I'm doing Dr. Grins in December, but guess what?
What?
Tuesday, I got a last minute. I'm at the Throckmorton in Mill Valley this coming Tuesday.
I saw that.
Tomorrow night, if you're listening, the day this drops, I'm at the Throckmorton in Mill Valley with Clinton Jackson, who I've known since we were babies, and he's great. I love.
And so she's doing stand-up Tuesdays again, or is this a special? Okay.
No, I think so. Yeah,
that's great.
So come to the Throck if you're a Bay Area person, please. It's so pretty. It's Mill Valley. Oh my God. Yeah.
Right. They have a brick and mortar Eileen Fisher. Is that what you're getting?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Because the Mill Valley.
Brick and mortar Eileen Fisher, you mean, for clothing?
Yeah. It's right across the street from the theater.
Oh, really?
And you could go to Punjabi Burrito, which is something you may or may not be interested in.
That sounds like it might damage my stomach, but I'll think about it.
If you like Indian food and you like naan, they do is they have vegetarian ones.
Okay.
And they have meat ones, and it's lovely. They take Indian food, they make a burrito out of it, and then everyone wins because it's called Punjabi Burrito, and that's funny.
Okay.
So
sure. No, I love comedy, as you know. Well, no.
Oh my God, Emo Phillips. So I get home, and Andy's friend from college is visiting us, but not really because there's nowhere for him to stay here. So he was in the house. Andy came and picked me up at the airport, and all four of us went out for Mexican food. And so I was, I don't know, I was looking at my phone during dinner like an animal.
Yeah.
And Emo Phillips had posted the funniest. There was a Guardian article that he quote tweeted. There was a Guardian article that they had just found 18 skeletons underneath this pub, underneath
Yeah.
this building or something. And so Emo Phillips quote tweets it and says, 18 people can't live if a building falls on top of them. And I laughed. I laughed, I tell you. I laughed. So the 20th, I'm in Austin. And then I do believe I am home for the weekend of Halloween. And then the first weekend of November. That's when I'm at Dr. Grin's.
Mm.
And then 2 weeks later, the weekend of the 18-19, I'm in Houston, or as they say in Portland, Oregon, Houston. Or wait, that's New York City calls it
No,
Houston.
New York City. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And then, yeah, so I go back to Texas in the middle of November before Thanksgiving.
Cool. After the Throck, I'm around for a little bit. I do go to Dr. Grin's first week of December, and I go to Off Cabot the weekend before Thanksgiving, which
What's
is
that?
in Boston. It's a club in Boston.
Neat.
Yeah. So I think it's the 18th and 19th. So if you're near Boston, come out to that. I love watching comedians complain about airlines on Twitter.
Anything.
It's my favorite. Bring it.
Yeah.
And they all feel self-conscious, like, oh, and some of them are like, I don't want to be one of those comics who complain. Just fucking, you are, and just do it. I don't need the preamble. Tell me what the fuck Delta did to you. Okay. I just want to hear the deets. I don't want to hear your, the agita, agita, whatever, the drama in your head.
Okay.
No, whatever the Greek concept.
Oh,
drama,
okay. Yeah.
that you went through to see that you're being mistreated by a shitty airline that's part of a shitty industry.
Well, I think there's a couple of problems with the airline industry. Let's discuss. There's a couple of problems with the airline industry. One, they retired a bunch of their pilots.
Oh,
right?
really? Right.
Yeah. When they went into lockdown, they offered everybody sort of half of them forced retirement, half of them, bonuses if they did retire. So they don't have any new pilots. And I read an article.
Well, they don't
and
have
I might have
any
told
old
you
pilots.
this. Well, they get no, they don't have any new pilots because they get their pilots from the Air Force and the service.
Right.
And they're not training as many pilots anymore because they're mostly killing people using drones. So they don't have to actually fly the bombs over anymore. They can fly over a toy and shoot somebody in the face. And yeah. And so I guess in this article, it said that American was about to start a pilot school.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I can't believe they've been getting this shit for free for decades.
Yeah. Forever, since Kitty Hawk. That's right. They're like, nope. And so I would say that I would be sympathetic, except for that I was on an airplane today where a whole row of masks also didn't work, and someone had ripped off the arm of one of the. I was like, what is happening? And so I don't know. I'm tired. I kind of want the I kind of want to stay home
right
but
now.
I kind of want to stay home and do Zoom shows.
Yeah.
And I also and Judah Friedlander, he's always looking for he has asked me a couple of times when I could open for him online because he's not doing the road.
I mean, he might be the smartest one of all of us, he and Andy Kindler. Ebola has escaped from Uganda. It arrived in Israel
Chicago.
and possibly Chicago. I don't know. That person verified, who knows if they're actually who they say they were, but it's like Jesus Christ. Now that one's going to shut everything down if that happens, because you can't say that's like the flu. It is truly one of the most horrific deaths. You're almost guaranteed to die if you get Ebola.
Did,
Yeah.
I don't
But
know
so
anything
please
about
let it,
Ebola, but
please let it come after my Dr. Grin's date, please. I'm so looking forward to it. I got my plane tickets already. Come on. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know that I have much more. I enjoyed New York City as I always do.
was it autumnal or was it wintry?
It was autumny. Yes,
Oh,
it
good.
was. Yeah. Because I had so many spots at night, I just sort of stayed inside all day because I stayed up really late and then I'd wake up late and then got to get ready 5 hours. And I just didn't want to move. I just wanted to be tiny and kind of rest and prepare for a night of losing material
Right.
to editing.
Right. Losing time.
Yeah.
And
I saw Bonnie McFarlane. She was very funny.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was good to see Bonnie. Yeah.
Oh my God. Linda Stogner, really funny over the weekend. She was great. Let's take another quick break and talk about how great other comics are.
Okay.
Because Linda Stogner, she was driving me around, and this guy Greg, whose last name I started with a C. Anyway, they were both interesting drivers. I live here, right? We live in Los Angeles, California, which ostensibly is the worst place to drive or be driven or live. All kinds of judgment is happening all over the world about it, and they're all wrong because Dallas, Texas is full of some of the craziest people I've ever seen behind the wheel. Linda Stogner, she was everywhere. She was literally just wildly going places. Greg, I had to actually, I used to do a bit about how you have to trust the driver. They're the hero. And so I said something, and then I literally just shut my eyes. I was like, don't say it again. It's not you just have to believe that they drive like this because they have to. Like that's how the driving is here. Yes. So they have adapted. And as opposed to LA, where if you put your signal on, someone will slow down and go, get in. And then you will get in. And then if you don't get in quickly enough, they will go too slow and they will speed up. And so, I mean, there is a vibe to driving in every single city I've ever driven in. And like Milwaukee, for some reason, loves 55. What are they doing? And I was like, they really bought that thing in the 70s where we were going to save gas or it was going to, and yeah, so whatevs.
We're about to teach our son to drive, take him to driving school, and then he can pick me up at the airport. I'm so excited. No more hostile taxi drivers being angry at how little they're driving me. I have a spot at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood this week. I haven't worked Hollywood in a long time, and I have checks going back to pre-pandemic that I need to pick up.
Oh my gosh. Do you think they're still there?
I have no idea.
And I don't think they're good after 2 years, but
I'm going to try. USAA will take almost anything I give them. They're not, but I wish, it's so funny how sometimes clubs are like 30 years behind in paying people, and just payments like handwritten checks and just checks in general, like I understand like a big week, but for a spot, just give me the cash, man, at that time. Don't make me drive to another location to pick up a check. It's ridiculous. But right. I should have like a nice little stack. I'm excited. But you know what? I got to learn my lesson and not be excited for potential profits. I got to learn.
Right. You just got to suck it up.
Yeah.
Right. I will say that I did the improv a couple of weeks ago and it was super fun. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I mean, I haven't done the Laugh Factory in probably 20 years. And so I don't even know how I would do that? Who I
I
would
was
talk to?
exiled to maybe Jamie. I don't know. I never know how they feel about me. Like I was only doing Long Beach for a long time, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm on their Long Beach only list. But then I just got a spot at Hollywood, so maybe I'm moving up or
Okay.
move.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: I'll enjoy it, and then I'll move off. Then I'll be moved over again, and then maybe moved off. Who I can't tell
You
you
can't keep up.
when and why. No, I'll just accept the grace when I am given it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And just hopefully, hopefully that we all just continue to work. I don't have, I feel like I have a lot of work right now, but I don't have enough work for next year. Right. And so I don't know. I don't want to be mad about it. I don't want to live in a future that isn't, and I've sent out my own avails in addition to whatever Gersh is doing. And I'm willing, you know, I just want to work,
I know. Yeah. Like I want to work a lot too, but also I don't want to be away from my son too much. I
Yeah.
can't be. So I'm in a situation where I have like a deflated income on purpose,
Mhm.
because of my
Mhm.
son. I don't have a writing job to supplement it.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be a long winter. But it might
Winter
be a
is
long
coming.
for
Yep.
all of us. Who
Yeah.
we'll see. Hey, but you know what? We actually put up a podcast. We started our $5 Patreon level, and we
Yep.
put up a podcast with you, me, and Laura House.
Yep.
And I loved it. It was really fun.
Oh, good.
And yeah, so if you guys want to listen to it, head on over to the Patreon and sign up for the $5 a month level. We'll be doing those one a month minimum, maybe more than that. We'll see if we can organize it, but definitely one a month.
Okay. And I
Well,
was
you
wondering,
sound like you just heard about it.
yeah, no, I was there. It was yeah, I'm all for it. It's exciting. The next one we're going to record is with Bamford.
Cool.
Yeah,
Exciting. All
she
right.
said
Come
she would do it.
see me at the Throck
Oh,
on Tuesday if you can.
and come see me in Austin at Altercation, which is not spelled like my last name. It's ALTERCATION.com. On Thursday in Austin, Texas, and then yeah, I'll be
Cool.
around.